Hey, how's it going? Well, it's time to pick the top 5 movies of the last year. I got my fancy coat on. So I suppose that before I get started, I should throw in a lot of disclaimers. Hopefully you realize this is my opinion, blah blah blah. Let's get going. So starting off with number 5, The Raid 2. Gareth Evans' salute to Indonesian martial arts is absolutely phenomenal. Just blew my mind all the way through it. The fight scenes are incredible. The characters are perfect. There are a couple of goofy bits. That's why it's number 5. The structure of the movie itself just holds together beautifully. Even though this is done as an Indonesian subtitled movie, you can follow along. Beautifully shot. Fight scenes are exceptionally well done in this movie. I could watch this movie 24/7. Just an amazing film. If you haven't checked it out, absolutely do so. And the nice part about it is that even though it is a sequel, you don't necessarily have to watch the first movie if you don't want to. Definitely deserves to be in the top 5 for 2014. Number 4 is Edge of Tomorrow. This is an incredible Tom Cruise movie. Not so much because he plays against his usual heroic character. I mean, when he starts out, he doesn't want to have anything to do with this war against aliens that are invading the Earth. He just wants to stay on the sideline as a PR guy for the military. And he ends up on the front and is killed. And then he's killed again. And then again. And then again. What a lot of people are comparing it to would be a bastard son of Groundhog Day and Starship Trooper. And that's fairly close, but the movie itself is so originally done, so well made, and the characters are exceptionally interesting, especially Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt, who plays opposite him for most of the film. Just wonderful performances, well-made movie, grabs you all the way through the film, surprises you all the way through it, twist ending, just a great film. Next up, number 3 is Rudderless. Now this is an independent film by William H. Macy. You may not have had a chance to see it, but I definitely urge you to seek this one out and watch it. This is an incredible performance by Billy Crudup. He carries this film all the way through. There are surprises in this film. While I was watching it the first time, I kept on trying to figure out, okay, why is this character responding to these situations in a completely different way than you would expect? There's a huge surprise in this movie. It's a big secret. If you see it and you're telling your friends about it, don't blow the secret. Let them discover it for themselves, because it pulls the whole movie together, and you end up watching the end of the movie going, oh yeah, that's why he did that. Anton Yelchin co-stars as a young guy who wants to get into music. He starts up a band and basically tricks Crudup's character into joining the band after hearing one of the songs that Crudup's character plays. And the music is just wonderful. If I was going to buy one soundtrack from a movie this year, this would definitely be the one that I'd be looking for. This is such an incredible movie. And number 2 on my top 5 list is Whitewash. Now this film actually did the circuit in 2013. It's considered a 2013 film, but it wasn't released in theaters here until the beginning of 2014. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a 2014 movie. Thomas Hayden Church is exceptional in this film. He ends up escaping into the woods after killing a guy, and you think, okay, is this by mistake? Was this just an accident? Did he plan on doing this? What the hell's going on? And you get bits and pieces of the puzzle as the story progresses in this non-linear fashion. Another thing that makes this movie exceptionally worthwhile, and it's something that I've come to truly appreciate in film, is that the cinematography makes the environment its own character in the film. So you end up with a fully immersive experience with this film. It's not just watching the characters going from A to B, saying a few lines, doing some goofy stuff. That's another thing about this film, is that it is a funny film in parts, but the humor is very macabre. Check it out. Absolutely see this movie. Well worth your while. And my number 1 pick for top movie of 2014, well, is there really any doubt? It's Denis Villeneuve's Enemy. This film was by far the best film I have seen, not only this year, but in a long time. It sucks you into its weirdness. It's just wonderfully told. It's another non-linear type of story. Jake Gyllenhaal does a phenomenal performance. Actually, he plays two characters in this film. It's a bit of a brain mulcher, but in a good way. Again, cinematography in this film just knocks it out of the park. Beautifully shot. Every scene is, in one sense or another, either claustrophobic or relates to the weird aspect of how Gyllenhaal's character sees certain, how do I say it without wrecking the story? How he sees certain things in certain situations that he's in. And that's the other thing. Unlike a movie like Grand Budapest Hotel, where every single detail is fresh in front of you, making sure that you see every little bit, every little package, the wallpaper, every little aspect of each scene is, you know, as a beautiful confection for the eyes. In Enemy, there's just as much attention to detail, but it's brought down quite a bit. And if you miss it, it's almost as though you have to watch this movie several times, or you have to kind of kick your mind's eye into full gear while watching it in order to kind of go back and process what it is that you've seen and kind of click all of these pieces in together. Okay, well, in that scene, was he in this apartment, or was he, you know, what aspects of that room make it different than the earlier scene or the later scene, where because it's told in a non-linear fashion, you almost want to deconstruct it and put it back together again, which is a fun game to play, but you don't really need to, because the movie plays out in such a way that if you're locked into it, and you can't help but be locked into the movie, by the end, when there's the huge weirdness that ends this film, enough of it has come to light, enough of it makes sense, that you can enjoy that last blast of weirdness that hits the screen before the credits roll. Because it's such an enjoyably weird movie, and typically a Canadian movie, in a lot of ways, in a lot of good ways, and definitely something that is well worth supporting and well worth checking out if you haven't, and definitely deserves to be the #1 movie that I checked out and reviewed in 2014. So those are my top 5 picks for 2014. Thanks for checking out this video, and thank you so much for the support you've given me over the last few months since I started doing these videos. Definitely subscribe to this channel, follow MovieQuips on Twitter, and check out what's happening on moviequips.ca. There's a lot of new stuff coming up. I'll definitely be doing more videos in the new year, and I look forward to that. And I'll definitely be continuing with the ebooks and other projects that have to do with expanding the website in hopefully useful ways. So Happy New Year and all the best. Cheers.